Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for a long overdue episode of the Sunday edition of Saturday Morning Blast Off. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos. My vast video library and pops up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. All right. Oh, yeah. I was trying to get things together this morning and yeah, it wasn't working, obviously. And for those of you heathen Catholics out there, happy fake Easter. The real Easter is next week, on the real calendar, but hey, whatever. So you guys can do whatever you want there. So we have Star Wars Celebration happening over in Europe at the moment in London. And there's been quite a few big announcements that have happened. We got the first trailer for Ahsoka, which is coming out August 2023 here. We don't have a date yet, but we just know it's the month of August is where it's going to start premiering. And the trailer for it looks awesome. We've got the live action Harrison Dula that we saw, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead. We're also getting a live action, of course, Thrawn, played by Lars Mikkelsen. And who of course voiced it in Star Wars Rebels, which I guess after they released it online, the truncated trailer, they did an extended trailer at Star Wars Celebration that actually shows Lars in his makeup, in his Thrawn makeup, which is going to be pretty cool. But we also saw Sabine Wren, that's going to be there. Yes, and we saw Chopper as well, the most murderous little droid in the Star Wars universe. Chopper. By the way, if you go back and watch Star Wars Rebels, he is a really sadistic little fucking droid. And I almost can swear you can hear him swearing most of the time when he's, the little beeping, the burp, 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 burp kind of thing. I'm fairly sure he's swearing a good majority of that time. He's a foul mouthed little murderous droid. And one of my favorites, so obviously. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. It looks badass. Um, and also, we also get a little view of the eighth brother from what it looks like as well. Hey, Stanley, how's it going? Um, so yeah, definitely looking forward to Ahsoka. That's going to be some awesome stuff. We also got news that Daisy Ridley is going to reprise the Rey role in another Star Wars movie set 15 years after the whole horrible trilogy that J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson did. Um, yeah, okay, that's great. I guess she's going to be putting together a Jedi Academy and all this stuff. So, yeah, whatever. Uh, if it's good, I'll watch it. Otherwise, I'm really not. Yes. I already talked about Easter. So yeah, whatever. But James Mangold is also working on a movie set 25,000 years before the Star Wars movies. And basically, it's going to be the first Force user, the first Jedi, if you will. And I'm really looking forward to that. James Mangold's been on kind of a roll a little bit lately here. And I really want to see what he's going to do with this. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, to see how he pulls this off. And then also the big news is, um, Dave Filoni is gonna be directing a Star Wars movie, most likely a new Star Wars trilogy. Take that with a grain of salt. But in the Ahsoka trailer, we say that, we hear her say heir to the Empire, that she's looking for Thrawn because he is heir to the Empire. Now, those of you who are Star Wars fans may have remembered a little book called, actually, a little trilogy of books called Heir to the Empire, which Timothy Zahn had written. Which Timothy Zahn, by the way, was the one who created the Thrawn character, and that's what Heir to the Empire is. It's about Thrawn essentially bringing the Empire back, and which would fit if it takes place right after The Mandalorian. And Dave Filoni's movie is really supposed to tie together The Mandalorian and Ahsoka um, into a movie. Basically, those series into the movie is what it's going to do. And you could actually have a trilogy off of this, like the books, and bring those books out of Star Wars Legends into Star Wars canon. Raymond says, I read the comics based on the books there. Yeah, and I actually had forgotten about those books. I downloaded on my Kindle the first Heir of the Empire, which I'll be reading, of course, because I know Dave Filoni is a huge fan of the extended. So is Favreau as well. Favreau is a huge fan of the extended universe, and they've been bringing stuff in, what they can, and that's what's awesome about this. These are people that actually are Star Wars fans, and they're playing with Star Wars toys, only in live action is what they're doing here at this point. And this is kind of what we want from these people. We don't want people that are not Star Wars fans, J.J. Abrams, Rian Johnson, and that are basically just there to destroy the fan base and whatnot. And I'll say that flat out. Rian Johnson, if you go back to one of his interviews, he flat out said that's what he wanted to do is divide people. So fuck him. Anyway, that's in the past. Now we're looking forward to the future at this point. So yeah, and this is what I'm looking forward to. This is going to be some really interesting stuff. Oh man. Yeah, we've got so much stuff that came out of this. We got the new Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny trailer that came out as well. And also the announcement that this is the final Indiana Jones, that Indiana Jones is being retired. That this is it. That's all. And I'm sad, but also kind of happy about it as well. And again, James Mangold is the one who's writing this and directing it. So obviously people are happy with it. And I don't know if this is two movies too late, Stanley. I really want to see how this is gonna. I want to see old Indy, quite honestly. I was a fan of the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, the TV series that Lucas did back in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, and I liked seeing old Indy in his 90s, with his eye patch and everything. And it was kind of interesting to see what other shit that he had gotten into in his later years. And I'm okay with this. That they're gonna have one last outing, and it's gonna be the final one. I mean, Harrison Ford is in his 80s, for God's sake. He's not gonna go any further than that. And I don't want to be recasted. I don't want the mantle being handed over unless it was going to be handed over to Short Round. If that was the case, where at the very end of this, you have Indy handing off the mantle to you know, uh Ki Hai Ki Kwai Kwan. I always murder his name. I'm sorry. But if they were to hand the mantle over to him, that would be awesome too. Considering he's getting back into acting now. So, that'd be awesome. Um, Raymond says, Hey Stanley, I actually enjoyed the Mando camp, even though the story is creeping by. I like where Mandalorian is going. So uh and Mandalorian, they did just say the title The Mandalorian is not in reference to Din Djarin, it's to Mandalorians as a whole. So the Mandalorian actually refers to Bo-Katan, it refers to Boba Fett, it refers to the Armorer, it refers to Paz Vizsla, all these different Mandalorians. They are the Mandalorian. That is what the series is about. It is going to tie together. You just need to be fucking patient and just go through it and see where this whole story is leading to, because that's what they do, is they build upon that story, and then what you think was insignificant in one story is going to lead to the end, uh in all of this. Raymond says, I don't get why people were so outraged by the aliens in India. I mean, we did get supernatural religion into the movies. Yeah, you don't need to like season 3, Stanley. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of things. I didn't like Andor. Andor was boring to me. It was, it was not grown up Star Wars. It was boring Star Wars, is really what it was. I also didn't like Obi-Wan until the last 2 episodes when Andrew Stanton came in and saved the story. Other than that, yeah, I mean, that was whatever. Um, and again, if you don't like something, you don't watch it. That's the whole thing. You don't, build a YouTube channel out of it and start bitching about it and get hate watchers. And yeah, hate watching is just really stupid. That's all I'm gonna say. And I just don't hate watch anymore. I mean, honestly, what was it? There's a new series on Disney Plus called Journey to the Center of the Earth. And I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot. I made it like 10 minutes into it, and I'm like, nope, this is not for me, and turned it off. It's Spanish language that's been poorly dubbed over, to English, and it's made for kids. And I'm talking like small kids, and I was like, "Yeah, this is not for me," and I was out after, like, 10 minutes. So, and yes, I hear you, Raymond, about the whole thing. I didn't like Indiana Jones for, mainly Shia LaBeouf, turned me off on it quite a bit. Also, just went into the realm of ridiculousness with the whole, the refrigerator scene. There was some stuff that was okay, but the majority of it was just, yeah, it was kinda cringy. So, Stanley says, I don't even watch Picard season 3, and a lot of people say it's good." Yeah, I don't care for that either. I'm not gonna be getting a Paramount Plus, subscription anytime soon, nor am I getting a Disney or an Apple Plus, Apple TV Plus, whatever they're calling themselves. Just not really interested. There's not enough stuff there for me to, justify paying for, one of those subscriptions. So, especially in their library. What else do we have? Oh yeah, so we also got a trailer for The Acolyte, a teaser trailer for The Acolyte, which I'm looking forward to as well. Um, and Carrie Ann Moss as a Jedi is going to be something interesting. It really is. We also got a teaser trailer for The Skeleton Crew, which has Jude Law in that, and I guess Jude Law is a shaved head Jedi, is what we've got going on. So that's going to be kind of interesting. And again, these have not hit the net as of yet. I've just been reading descriptions about some of the stuff here and there. Um, and yeah, I mean, there's some interesting stuff coming down the pipe, and I know a lot of people are going, "Oh, there's too much Star Wars," and honestly, go back to 2000, to the year 2000, just after the special editions hit the theaters, and everyone was like, "Oh, there's not enough Star Wars. There's never been enough Star Wars. We're not getting any Star Wars." And now people are going, 20 years later, "Oh, we're getting too much Star Wars." You can't please everybody all the time. You just got a lot of fucking whiners. That's all it is. So just do what you need to do and go with it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. If you like it, watch it. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Um, I don't like the Star Trek stuff that's coming out right now, so I'm not watching it. There you go. Oh, man. Stanley says, "What's up with the orangey red lightsabers?" So Stanley, they are going to actually talk about how her lightsabers became white because there are no white kyber crystals. I do know how it comes about. It's the same way. It's actually a reverse order of how the Sith get their red lightsabers because there are not really not red kyber crystals. Um, how the Sith, I'm fuck it. I'm just gonna tell you. Um, Red kyber crystals and red sabers come about from the actual Sith taking a Jedi's lightsaber and then infusing it with the dark side of the Force, and they infuse that crystal with a hate, all that kind of stuff into that crystal until it turns red. That's how they change it into a red color. That's why Sith always carry a red saber. It is part of the dark side of the Force that has infiltrated that there. So yeah. And Ahsoka, if they stick to, because the book is no longer canon, the book is now part of Legends, the book called Ahsoka that was written by Johnson is her last name. I can't remember her first initials, but she had actually taken an Inquisitor's double blades, and they were red, and then she infused them with the light side of the Force, making them white. They went from red to white. So I'm guessing that's what's going to happen there. I know that they had talked about this in an interview with Filoni, that that is going to be part of this series as well, as how she comes up with the white lightsabers. Wasn't Mace Windu's saber purple because he toes the line? Yes, because he's between light and dark. That is correct. You're correct, sir. Yeah, I know you're not talking about the white one, Stanley, but I know there's the orangey red lightsabers. So that's where we're going with this. It's how these come about, how these different colors come about. Um, oh, there was one other thing too. Oh yeah, so Filoni did say that there is a second season on the way of Tales of the Jedi. Which, if you haven't watched Tales of the Jedi, which is on right now on Disney Plus for streaming, it's a good, honestly, it takes about 45 minutes, I believe, for each storyline. So one storyline is Ahsoka, about how Ahsoka became a Jedi, and what happened to her a little bit. And then the other one is Count Dooku, and how Dooku turned to the dark side. And both are actually really well done. They're both animated. It's an animated series, but there is going to be a second season of that, and most likely they're going to focus on two other Jedi at this point. So, yeah, I was fairly impressed with that, and it plugs some holes for the movies as well. They did a nice job. Filoni did a really nice job of that. So, yeah, take a look at that if you get a chance. So, other non-Star Wars related news. We got another trailer for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. We got the second trailer there, and that is going to be June 2nd, is when that comes about. And we finally found out what the plot is of the movie. Is that we're yeah, I'm not gonna just go and watch the trailer. You'll see it. So it's there in the trailer. What else do we have here? I'm kind of looking through my news stuff. Oh yeah, August 18th, we're going to get Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle hits theaters August 18th, which is a DC character. E.K. Johnson. Thank you, Yasi. Yes, E.K. Johnson was the one who wrote the Ahsoka series. I have the book someplace around here. I don't know. It's a good book. It's actually a decent book. Um, so yeah, the Blue Beetle is actually a pre James Gunn Peter Seraphim movie. This was something that was going to be an HBO Max movie like Batgirl, but actually made it into the movie realm. They boosted it up with a bit more money and all that kind of stuff, and made it into a feature film. It's starring the kid who's in Cobra Kai. He's going to be the Jamie is what he's going to be. No, it's going to be better than that. It's going to be Shark Boy and Lava Girl was horrible, Stanley. Wow, you're Mr. Negativity today, and you always call me, negative on this. So I think it's going to be okay, Raymond. I'm going to go and see it in the theaters. It's actually a comic accurate suit. And again, they're calling out the previous Blue Beetles as well. We're going to see Ted Cord's old suit, and oh, I'm blanking on the original Blue Beetle's name now. But anyway, we're gonna see both of them. We also saw the Blue Beetle ship too, which was kind of cool. So, and again, remember, this is pre James Gunn. I know people are going to attribute it to James Gunn and Peter Seraphim, kind of like they're doing with Shazam 2. They're like, oh my God, see already. Blah, blah, blah. Fuck, man. No, the first movie that's going to come out with James Gunn and Peter Seraphim over their reign is the Superman movie that James Gunn is working on. That's going to be their first movie. So everything up to Aquaman, which comes out at the end of this year, is under the old regime. Everything after Aquaman is going to be new regime. Yeah. Yeah, the only thing I don't like about the Blue Beetle movie is that George Lopez is in it. I mean, that fucking hack, that dude, he steals people's stand-up jokes all the time. He's known for stealing stand-up jokes, and, yeah, I just don't like the dude. He's pretty shitty. So, anyway, well, that's coming out August 18th. Um, June 21st, a little bit closer here, on Disney Plus, we're gonna get Secret Invasion. That's right, Marvel's Secret Invasion. We're gonna find out what the fuck Nick Fury has been up to all this time, and it's gonna involve scrolls. It's going to involve espionage, worldwide conspiracies, all that kind of stuff. And I'm wondering who out of the Marvel universe is going to be a scroll. I wonder if Tony Stark is maybe a scroll, and maybe Tony Stark's still alive, really, and that the scroll is the one who died. So yeah. Carlos Mencia is also another one that steals jokes too, Stanley or Raymond, excuse me. But yeah, but no, George Lopez does as well. Oh God, yeah. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, June 21st, Secret Invasion. Looking forward to that one as well. That's going to be some nice stuff. So, Fahey has, pulled back a little bit on some of the Marvel stuff. They're slowing down the releases at the moment, and I understand why they're doing this. It seems like everything's coming out Marvel like all the time, all the time, all the time, and so that, yes, is a saturation of stuff. Star Wars, we're not getting a saturation of Star Wars at the moment. I mean, we're getting stuff coming out here and there, but not like Marvel. Marvel, it's like all the time. You're getting Marvel stuff. So Fahey is actually putting on the brakes a bit, and I'm okay with that. They're actually spacing out the movies a bit more now too. They've actually redone the calendar for the Marvel movies, so things are going to be spaced out a little bit more too. Let's see here. Netflix has ordered an anime series of Scott Pilgrim, and the entire pretty much the entire cast of the live action movie are coming back to voice their characters for that. So, that's actually going to be fun, I think. I wasn't a big fan of the movie. I saw the movie. So this is the reason why Scott Pilgrim did so poorly in the box office, is because they showed that fucking thing for free everywhere. I think I saw it twice. I saw it twice. That's right. I could have seen it like 4 times for free, different conventions, all that kind of stuff. There was free passes everywhere for that thing. Comic-Con that year that it was coming out, I think they had it almost on a 24-hour loop, and you could go in anytime you wanted to and go and see it. I know people who went and saw it 3 times at Comic-Con. So, there you have it. When you could have seen it for free versus having to pay for it, no one went and paid for it. So, that's why it crashed and burned. Yeah. CBM says, "I hope this might be a sign of, the run times are longer." I think so. I think so, CBM. I think we are gonna get some run they're supposed to be averaging out the run times. I guess what's going on in Mandalorian season 3 with the 40 to 44 minute, run times of the episodes is where, uh, that is what they're hitting as a sweet spot now for episode lengths. So, yeah. Which, strangely enough, you add commercials to them, that runs into an hour-long episode. So, well, not really. I mean, if you went by TV standards, like network TV standards, you actually want 36 minutes, 38 minutes, 38 minutes, that's what it is. And then you get the, commercial, there you go. I don't see Marion on the schedule. Will you be covering it? I've never heard of Marion, Raymond. I don't know what that is. Let me take a look and see what Marion is. Uh, I do not know what that is, and I don't see anything coming up. So, possibly not. Oh, Mario. There we go. Mario. Okay. I was like, what the fuck is Marion? Uh, you got me all my hopes up. Was Marion Ravenwood? Did she have her own series? I'm probably not gonna be covering Mario. It's really not my bag, to tell you the truth, and yeah, I'm just not really interested. I know it's the biggest movie, so far this weekend, but I haven't really looked at it. Yeah. Was there a Blue Beetle movie before? No, there never has been a Blue Beetle movie before. A Blue Beetle has been brought up in, Young Justice, the animated, series, which, by the way, if you haven't watched that, that's a fucking excellent series. Um, and Smallville, I think, has used Ted Kord's name. Also, Arrow has used Ted Kord's name. So, but hasn't shown Blue Beetle there, but the name has come up. Yes, in those, respective realms. Oh, yeah, premiering May 4th on Adult Swim, midnight May 4th, 12:01, I guess you could say. Um, Gennady Tartakovsky is gonna have a new series called Unicorn Warriors Eternal, and, take a look at the trailer. The trailer is pretty whacked out there, and take it from me, it's Gendy Gendy Tartakovsky. If it's Gendy Tartakovsky, watch it. This is the guy who did Primal, Powerpuff Girls, all this stuff. He does animation. He knows what he's doing, and if it's a series that he has worked on, and it's something that was his passion project, which this is, it's going to be good. Yeah, I'll tell you this right now. I'll predict it right now. It's going to be as good as Primal. Then I'm going to be watching it. Stanley says there was an animated DC showcase, a one-off with yes, there was. That is correct. And yes, Samurai Jack. Thank you, Raymond. Yes, Samurai Jack is fucking awesome. And again, that just shows you. And I keep saying this: if you're an animator and you can tell a story without having to have any dialogue, which is what Gendy Tartakovsky does, both in Samurai Jack and in Primal. And as a matter of fact, he won Emmys and I believe an Oscar for Primal, if I'm not mistaken. He's won awards for Primal, where there are entire stretches with no dialogue in it whatsoever, except for grunts and whatnot. And that is awesome. So, you know, I'm going to be looking forward to it and watching it. That's Unicorn Warriors Eternal, May 4th. What else do we have? Oh, yeah, this was actually kind of nicely done too. So Ike Perlmutter, who had an iron grip on the Marvel comics industry. So Ike Perlmutter used to run all of Marvel, by the way. So he was also selling off pieces of Marvel here and there. He's been fired by Disney. He no longer works at Disney anymore. Um, this is a guy who Kevin Feige basically told Bob Iger. He said, either I don't work for Ike Perlmutter under Ike Perlmutter anymore, or I leave. And that's what Bob Iger did. He's like, okay, we're separating out. Marvel Studios is here, Marvel Comics is over here. And Marvel Comics, which had, Marvel TV shows like, The Inhumans, you know, uh, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., all the Netflix series, all that kind of stuff. That was all under Ike Perlmutter. And he nickeled and dimed every fucking show to the point where it showed. I mean, you could see how bad those shows were versus the Marvel shows that are on, Disney Plus right now that actually pump some money into it and do a good job of, you know. Didn't they even dissolve his department and to get rid of him? Yes, they did. Yes, they did, Stanley. They actually so also Ike Perlmutter is a huge supporter of the orange felon who's currently under indictment for 34 incidents over in New York right now. So and supposedly he's next. But yeah, this also leads into Ike Perlmutter was trying to do a hostile takeover of Disney and their board fairly recently. This is the reason why what's his face Chapek, who was came in after Iger, got ousted again, is because Chapek was actually actively working with Perlmutter to make this happen. And yeah, Iger came in and with the people that had raised flags about this and ousted out Chapek, and then they ousted out Perlmutter at that point. So yeah. And all I can say is good riddance. We don't need that fucking cheapskate, you know, running any kind of Marvel stuff there. Raymond says they can just replace him with another white guy. No, exactly. Yeah, I know. That is true. Yassi says Marianne was a French horror series on Netflix. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, Marion, I thought it was Marion Ravenwood, which would be a fucking awesome series. Think about that. Having Marion Ravenwood on her own series for Disney Plus. Come on. Bring Karen Allen in. Bring her back. I'm pitching that right now. Yeah. So, what else do we have here? Oh yeah, Sweet Tooth season 2 is going to drop on Netflix April 27th. So if you haven't seen season 1 of Sweet Tooth, go and watch it. It's actually a good story. It's based on a comic. Yes, that's true. And season 2 is going to be, and also both seasons are actually produced by Robert Downey Jr. and his wife. Their company is actually the one that's producing that. Yeah. April 13th, the last half of the final season of Titans comes to HBO Max. Ugh, yeah, okay. I'm watching it, but just basically to finish it off. Yeah. I'm just waiting for the last half of the season for Doom Patrol here to kind of show up as well, because I want to finish that off. That's going to be bittersweet, but I know that they're going to end it correctly. Unlike Titans. Titans just bad all the way around. It really is. What else do we have here? That's pretty much what I have left there. So, um, yeah. Oh, and I think I might have mentioned this. No, maybe I didn't. Disney Plus has canceled Willow after one season. Thank whatever gods were involved with that one. Willow was just a shit show. It really was. It's what happens when you have nepotism involved and no one checking him. Yeah. Jonathan Kasdan is not a good writer. I'm going to say that flat out. This is the second franchise that he has tried to invoke and has ruined. Han Solo, Solo, a Star Wars story was the first one. So, yeah. Stanley says the hate crowd is claiming Disney demise even more strongly recently. They say that the Mario movie beat Disney. Oh God. Yeah, I know. Well, Raymond, when you have the title called Willow, you think the movie would be about, I don't know, Willow, and not just have him be there only in name, really, because it's really not about Willow. They should have just called it Alora Donnan, or Darren, whatever her name is. Donnan, yes, because that's who it was really about. Kind of like Andor was not about Andor. It was actually about Mon Mothma. That would have been the more interesting story. Or they could have just called it Birth of the Rebellion, you know, or Rebels Rise, something like that. If you called it Rebels Rise, you would have had a lot of the South watching it, by accident until they found out what it was really about. Oh, I'm sorry. That was an easy, cheap shot. So, anyway. And I believe that really is the last thing that I've got going on here. Yeah, I know it's been a while since I've done one of these. Is it worth my time? Birth of a Rebellion? Yeah, it could have been. But yeah, I mean, I haven't done one of these, Saturday morning blast offs since December. I know it's been a little while. It's just been crazy at work and stuff like that. And crazy in life, all that kind of things. So, yeah, and crazy little dog who is obviously going to bother me about something in a little bit here. But yeah, what else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Tomorrow and Tuesday, I'm going to be off. Wednesday is going to be another episode. It's the penultimate episode of The Mandalorian. Uh, Thursday and Friday, I don't know what I'm doing as of yet because it's just there's a lot of stuff up in the air at the moment. Let me see what Suspended Fanimation has for you over there. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing as of yet. Take a look at the schedule. You'll see what's up there once I figure out what it is. Like I said, there's just too much crazy stuff going on in life at the moment, and that's why everything is as haphazard as it is. Yes. So, with that said, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you to everyone who joined me today in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also have all the links to my social pages there and all the links to my media's pages there as well. Media, that social media. That's what I meant to say. Oh man. Thanks everybody. I will see you again on Wednesday. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out, because otherwise, you maybe a while before I do another one of these Saturday morning blast offs. Hopefully not. I mean, it just takes a little while to put this stuff together, and sometimes there's not enough news. Usually that's what happens. Thanks, everyone. I will see you again on Wednesday. Have a good rest of your weekend. Stay safe, be well, take care, and have a good rest of your day. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one. Bye.